if you had a question that was specific and that was true of some events, that would certainly be necessary. But it was about getting the experience and going to the right places and following on and keeping your eyes and ears open to learn how to do it. But the watching and learning was not a bad way of doing it.
At 73, Princess Anne has finally spilled the beans. There's someone she's secretly hated more than anyone else for years. The straightforward royal has always been known for saying what's on her mind, but this is the first time she's revealed the person who really got under her skin. So, who is it? And why did they bother her so much? We're about to dig into all the juicy details. When it comes to the British royal family, public perception is everything. But why is it that some royals seem to spark more drama than others? Get ready, because the reason behind it might just knock you off your feet. Royals have had to walk a fine line between personal freedom and the weight of tradition. Ever wonder how they juggle their own desires with the expectations of an entire nation? Take Princess Anne, for example. Despite her noble status, she's faced her fair share of scandals, yet managed to rise above them all with a resilience that's truly remarkable. Flash back to 1974. 23-year-old Anne survived an attempted kidnapping after a charity event with her then-husband, Captain Mark Phillips. The attacker, Ian Ball, even shot her chauffeur and a journalist who stepped in to help. Ball's goal? To ransom her for £2 million. But in a moment that defined her grit, Anne calmly replied, "Not bloody likely." Now that's how you handle royal life under fire, literally. In that moment, she showed everyone how cool she could be under pressure to protect herself and her family. Speaking of family, it's clear that she has a strong love for her nephews, Prince William and Harry. That's why it's so intriguing to imagine what she might think of their choices, especially Prince Harry's marriage to Meghan Markle. Obviously, the media loves to speculate, but what's really going through Anne's mind? Hold on to that thought, because the royal drama is just getting started. Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Love her or hate her, she sure knows how to stir up conversation. Before she became a royal family member, Meghan made waves on the hit show Suits and was known for her humanitarian work. When she met Prince Harry, it seemed like a modern-day fairy tale, breaking centuries-old royal traditions and bringing diversity to the famously traditional British monarchy. But that dreamy love story soon hit some serious bumps. Ever wondered what really went down between Meghan and her in-laws? Because their royal exit, dubbed Megxit, didn't just turn heads. It rocked the entire royal family. In early 2020, Meghan and Harry decided to step down as senior royals, sparking endless chatter about the future of the monarchy. Meghan had initially been so enthusiastic about her new role, excited to dive into British causes and communities. In an interview, she admitted she didn't even Google Harry or the royal family before they met. Bold move, right? But was that trust a little too blind? And here's where it gets juicy: Princess Anne. From the beginning, Anne wasn't exactly sold on Meghan's charm. TV personality Deborah Davies even claimed Anne had her doubts, much like her father, Prince Philip. At Harry and Meghan's wedding, Anne's expressions practically screamed, "I've seen this before." Could she see right through Meghan all along? Things got even messier when Meghan, unable to attend Prince Philip's funeral due to pregnancy, left the family quietly relieved that what they called a circus wouldn't follow. And let's not forget Meghan's explosive interview with Oprah, where she dropped bombshells about racism and feeling isolated within the royal walls. Here's the tea. Princess Anne isn't one to sugarcoat, and when it came to Meghan Markle, she had a few blunt words of advice. Royal commentator Neil Sean spilled that Anne told Meghan to treat royal life as a duty, not a ticket to fame, leaving Meghan, who was more used to the Hollywood spotlight, a bit stunned. But could Meghan have misjudged what it really takes to be a royal? Anne made it clear that this isn't a part-time gig. It's all or nothing, with commitment to causes and public service at the heart of it. And Anne wasn't alone in her concerns. Lady Colin Campbell claimed Anne even warned Harry about Meghan's self-absorption. Was Anne seeing red flags before anyone else? Fast forward to September 2022, after the Queen's passing. Meghan and Harry reunited with William and Kate to greet the public outside Windsor Castle. But was it as united as it seemed? According to body language experts, there was major tension between the couples. Remember, this all came after Meghan and Harry's bombshell Oprah interview, which aired the royal dirty laundry in a way that still echoes through the palace halls. Princess Anne's cool demeanor and skepticism towards Meghan may have only deepened after that interview, leaving many wondering if Anne's early doubts were spot on. Princess Diana. When it came to Princess Diana and Princess Anne, these two were polar opposites. Diana, dubbed the People's Princess, captured hearts worldwide with her warmth, charm, and deep compassion. Rising to fame after her marriage to Prince Charles, she quickly became a global icon, using her influence to champion causes like HIV/AIDS awareness and the fight against landmines. Diana wasn't just a princess, she was a humanitarian superstar, and the public couldn't get enough of her. But behind palace walls, the story wasn't so rosy. Diana's natural charisma and flair for working the media clashed with Princess Anne's more stoic, traditional approach to royal duties. While Diana effortlessly commanded the spotlight, Anne stayed grounded, committed to her royal responsibilities, and less concerned about media fanfare. Could it be that Anne saw Diana's media-savvy style as a bit too much for the crown? After all, Diana knew how to use the cameras to amplify her causes, a skill Anne found unsettling and perhaps even unroyal. The drama didn't stop there. The tension only grew when Diana broke from royal expectations after becoming a mother. Rumor has it Anne was expected to be godmother to Diana's firstborn, Prince William. But Diana had other plans. Despite Charles's support for Anne, Diana picked someone else. By the time Prince Harry arrived, Anne was snubbed again, with Prince Andrew stepping into the godfather role. Diana explained she preferred a male godparent, but was that really the whole story? And here's where it gets even juicier. While Anne was busy making countless public appearances, she's often called the hardest working royal. Diana's every move, whether she was on tour or pregnant with Prince William, captivated the press. During Anne's royal tour in the US, all eyes were on Diana, who was preparing to give birth. The media even asked Anne about being overshadowed by Diana's popularity. Her response? A quick "oh good" when told of William's birth, which led the press to label her as a sour puss. Diana, though, wasn't feeding into the feud. In a 1985 interview, she denied any bad blood, praising Anne's work with Save the Children and calling herself Anne's biggest fan. But was that just Diana's trademark diplomacy at work? Princess Anne later expressed regret for not understanding the full extent of Diana's struggles. So, was it really a feud, or just two wildly different personalities clashing under the crown? Even after Diana's tragic passing in 1997, Anne was reportedly distressed, reflecting on how she may have misjudged her sister-in-law's challenges in royal life. Some, like Cherie Blair, have suggested that it wasn't a feud at all, just a royal personality mismatch that the media turned into something bigger. Cherie Blair, the wife of former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, she is no stranger to making headlines, whether it's in the courtroom, in political circles, or at royal events. Born in 1954, Cherie became a powerful legal figure, especially in the field of human rights. But once she married Tony Blair in 1980, she found herself in the political spotlight, serving as the First Lady of the United Kingdom from 1997 to 2007. Her outspoken nature and willingness to tackle political issues head-on set her apart from the typical spouse of a prime minister, and it wasn't long before sparks flew between Cherie and Princess Anne. Their very first meeting in 1997 at Balmoral was far from a royal success. Picture this: Cherie, trying to be casual, suggested Anne call her by her first name. But Princess Anne, ever the stickler for tradition, shot back with, "I'd rather not. It's not the way I've been brought up." Cherie's witty retort, "What a shame," didn't exactly smooth things over. From that moment, it was clear these two were on very different wavelengths. But was it just a personality clash, or something deeper? Things got even chillier during the Queen's Golden Jubilee in 2002. Cherie, trying to be friendly, reached out to greet Princess Anne, but was completely blanked. Yep, you read that right. Blanked. What would you do if a royal gave you the cold shoulder? Cherie didn't hold back and admitted she felt snubbed, further widening the gap between her and Anne. And it wasn't just Anne. Cherie's discomfort with royal customs, like those early morning bagpipe wake-up calls at Balmoral, the chilly castle rooms, and the strict no-trousers rule for women, didn't exactly win her favor with the royal set. Even the Queen Mother was taken aback when Cherie rocked up to lunch in trousers during her first visit. And let's not forget Princess Margaret, who with her sharp wit found herself embarrassed by Cherie during one of their encounters. It's no wonder Princess Anne might have been cautious about Cherie's place in royal life. Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, better known as Fergie, has always stood out in the royal family. From the moment she stepped into the royal spotlight, Fergie's energetic, spontaneous nature made her stand out. She was the fun, relatable royal that the public couldn't get enough of. But with that love came conflict, especially with the more reserved and duty-bound members of the family. And you bet Anne's approach often clashed with Fergie's laid-back and informal flair. Royal photographer Steve Wood, who spent a lot of time capturing the royal family, hinted at the underlying tension. Despite Anne's dedication to her royal duties, she often felt overshadowed by Fergie's media presence. Can you imagine working tirelessly, only to be sidelined by someone who effortlessly grabs the limelight? Anne certainly could. She once voiced her frustration, saying, "I work diligently every day, yet I am never featured in the media, and no one acknowledges my efforts." Could it be that Fergie's media-savvy persona was part of the problem? Anne, ever the traditionalist, valued the monarchy's dignity and preferred to stay out of the headlines. Fergie, on the other hand, seemed to attract them like moths to a flame. And it wasn't just their personalities clashing. Fergie's life was a tabloid goldmine. From her financial struggles to her contentious business ventures, she often found herself at the center of scandal. Meanwhile, Anne was steadfast in preserving royal dignity. And let's not forget Fergie's personal life. Her marriage to Prince Andrew started out as a storybook romance. But it didn't take long for the cracks to show. Can you believe they spent only 40 days together each year during the first 5 years of their marriage? Unsurprisingly, by 1991, things were already unraveling. Fergie's close friendship with Texan millionaire Steve Wyatt only added fuel to the media fire, especially when photos of him with her young daughter were plastered all over the papers. By January 1992, the royal fairy tale of Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew took a sharp turn when the Duke and Duchess of York publicly announced their separation, which was officially finalized by March 19, 1992. In a series of events that would shock the public and strain Fergie's relationship with the royal family, she was no longer tasked with representing the Queen in public engagements, and Queen Elizabeth II distanced herself financially from Ferguson's obligations. This marked the beginning of Ferguson's new life, as she relocated to Renda Lodge on the Wentworth estate, severing her day-to-day living arrangements with Prince Andrew. But if you think that was dramatic, things took a turn for the worse in August of 1992. The Daily Mirror published scandalous photographs of Sarah Ferguson and American financial manager John Bryan, images that showed Bryan in a compromising position with the Duchess. These photos caused a media frenzy, with Ferguson becoming the target of public ridicule and mockery. Despite French magazine Paris Match being ordered to pay £84,000 in damages for republishing the photos, the damage to Fergie's reputation and her royal ties was irreparable. Even after the scandal broke, rumors of reconciliation between Ferguson and Prince Andrew continued to swirl. But by March 1993, they had reached an official separation agreement, quashing any hopes of a rekindling. The fallout didn't stop there. Princess Margaret, ever the sharp-tongued royal, penned a now infamous letter to Sarah, accusing her of bringing more disgrace upon the royal family than anyone could have anticipated. By April 1996, Sarah and Andrew decided to officially divorce. But the story doesn't end there. Their unusual post-divorce relationship has been a topic of fascination for decades. Despite the split, they maintained a close bond and have even continued to live together. You'd think after all the scandals, this duo would have parted ways for good, but their cozy cohabitation for over 30 years has kept the rumor mill spinning, with many speculating on the true nature of their relationship. Financially, Sarah Ferguson faced significant challenges post-divorce, but contrary to her early claims of receiving £115,000 annually from the settlement, it was later revealed that she was provided with £350,000 in cash, £500,000 from the Queen to purchase a home for herself and her daughters, and a monthly allowance that had reportedly reached £500,000 by 2010. Talk about a royal financial cushion. Despite the public humiliation and separation from royal duties, Sarah Ferguson has proven remarkably resilient. Over the years, she has successfully reinvented her image, engaging in charity work, publishing books, and becoming a notable public speaker. Fergie has managed to carve out an independent identity while still keeping one foot in the royal door, attending various family functions, and keeping her royal connections alive. You won't believe who else found themselves in Anne's crosshairs. What's your guess? Could this next rift top the Fergie feud? Donald Trump. We bet you didn't see this one coming. Princess Anne made headlines in December 2019 during a NATO summit reception at Buckingham Palace. Hosted by Queen Elizabeth II to mark NATO's 70th anniversary, the event brought together global leaders, including then U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania. However, it wasn't a political statement or speech that captured the world's attention. It was Princess Anne's casual shrug that sent the media and internet into a frenzy. As the Queen stood in the reception line, greeting the Trumps, she glanced over at Princess Anne, seemingly prompting her to join in the formalities. But Anne, standing at a slight distance, responded with a small shrug, followed by a witty, "It's just me." The internet exploded with memes, and many interpreted this seemingly lighthearted moment as a subtle dig at Trump or a critique of the event's formality. Anne's shrug became an overnight viral sensation, with countless memes portraying her as the princess who wasn't afraid to break royal protocol, some even speculating that she was subtly dissing Trump himself. But the reality of the situation was quite different. According to reports, the Queen wasn't summoning Anne to greet the Trumps, but merely glancing over to see who was next in line. Since Trump was the last leader to be greeted, Anne's "it's just me" remark wasn't a snub toward the U.S. president, but a simple acknowledgement that no more dignitaries were waiting. Anne's reaction was her typical demeanor, and the chuckle that followed was purely situational. Laura Stone from the Press Association later clarified that Anne's remark was in no way a slight against Trump. Despite the initial misinterpretations, insiders revealed that the media's spin on this incident troubled Princess Anne. Known for her dedication to neutrality, Anne was reportedly dismayed that people thought she was mocking a political figure behind his back. She prides herself on maintaining decorum in her public role, and the notion that she would openly ridicule a world leader was far from her true intent. Ultimately, the Princess Anne Donald Trump shrug moment showcases how quickly public perception can spiral into a meme-worthy event. But if one thing is certain, it's that Anne's blend of humor and stoicism will continue to make her a fascinating figure in royal life. Now, you won't believe the next story that twists its way into Anne's life. Camilla, the Queen Consort. The story of Princess Anne and Camilla, the Queen Consort, is another fascinating chapter in royal history marked by complexity, rivalry, and eventual reconciliation. Back in the 1970s, both women found themselves entangled in a romantic triangle involving Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla's then partner. Anne was drawn to Andrew's charm, but their relationship was short-lived as he eventually reunited with Camilla, leading to their marriage. Despite their split, whispers circulated within royal circles about Anne's lingering affection for Andrew, often regarded as her first love. However, Andrew's Catholic faith posed a huge obstacle to any genuine relationship with Anne. The plot thickened in 1995 when Camilla divorced Andrew after 21 years of marriage. Just a decade later, she married Anne's brother, Prince Charles, becoming the Duchess of Cornwall. This union brought mixed reactions from the royal family, with Princess Anne adopting a cautious stance toward Camilla. One memorable encounter reportedly took place during a coronation meal, where Anne boldly approached Camilla and remarked that, despite her title as Queen Consort, the public would never accept her as the true queen. However, over the years, observers noted a significant shift in the dynamics between Anne and Camilla. As Camilla settled into her role alongside King Charles, a gradual warming of relations began to emerge. Anne's eventual acceptance of Camilla, coupled with a decrease in public conflicts, signifies a maturing relationship rooted in mutual respect and understanding within the royal family framework. Thanks for watching the video. Are you a fan of Princess Anne's traditionalist approach? Let us know in the comments below. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos like this.